Well, here we go. We live now. How about that? Saturday morning. My name is Brian K. McNeill. Thank you for joining me. And I already know so much about you, so I'm going to let you know a little bit about me once we really get this thing started. But I do know that anyone that shows up to this workshop today is a champion. Is a champion because only champions will show up for something like this on a Saturday morning. Today, we're going to talk about how to overcome the fear of selling, how to overcome it now and for the rest of your life, how to conquer that beast, the fear of selling, so that you're never, ever afraid of it anymore. You never, ever find it distasteful anymore. We're going to talk about those things today. And I'm just going to give maybe a minute or two more. It's not even the time yet. Before I move on and start, I'm going to just wait a couple of minutes. But once we start today, we're going to get it in. I mean, really, it's going to feel like this time has zoomed by fast because I have a lot of content and I'm going to deliver it in a short amount of time. So we won't be here all day long, won't be here long at all. But I promise you, everyone that takes part in this is going to be better at selling themselves and their services when I'm done talking today. And they're going to have a whole lot less fear of selling. They're not even going to be afraid of it at all. Matter of fact, there's going to be some of you guys that have to take part in this workshop are going to be anxious to endeavor in the act of selling. They're looking forward to selling based upon what they're going to learn in this workshop with me today. So I'm excited about working with you guys. According to the shadow on the floor, it's now 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's the time that we have designated to begin this thing. Now, up on the screen, you see that just some of my credentials. I've been doing this for more than 30 years. I started out when I was 23 years old, and I'm 54 now. But I wasn't a sales trainer at 23. I became a sales trainer at 24 years of age. So right at 30 years, part of my income and part of my livelihood has been about helping people to sell themselves and their services better. One of the things I like to tell people is what changed my life is when I discovered my first book on selling. My first book on selling was Tom Hopkins' How to Master the Art of Selling. And on the 4th page of that book, it talked about how you cannot fail in the field of selling. And at that time, I needed someone to tell me why I couldn't fail because I was failing. I felt like a failure. I was making no money. But the book talked about doing what you're supposed to do. A few years ago, and I read that book and I read another book and another book. And by my own count, I've read more than 700 books on how to sell, how to manage salespeople, and personal development. Yes, I have. And I know that number is conservative because several of the books I read more than one time. About 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I wrote a report called The 10 Best Books on Selling. And that report traveled the globe, the 10 best books on selling. And lots of organizations started using my list of 10 best books on selling to recommend to their salespeople. But I've amended that list to add my two of my books. So now my list is the 12 best books on selling. But one of my books that I have on the list of selling is The Shortcut, the fastest route to selling your services. I put this on one of the best books of selling because I believe it does the best job of just telling you what to do with your time. What do you do on a Monday? What do you do on a Tuesday? What do you do on a Wednesday? What do you do during the course of your normal days that can contribute to you earning money? And I also added that book, Asking for the Money, also authored by me, because this teaches you how to close sales and overcome objections. What do you do before you ask for the money? What do you do when you ask for the money? What are you doing as a little bit of resistance? What are you doing as a lot of resistance? So I'm very proud of those works that I have put forward. Those two books both have been Amazon bestsellers. I have hundreds of testimonials, both video testimonials and written testimonials, and I've won gobs of awards, sales contests, community civic awards, too many to mention. But that's who I am. But you ain't come here to find out who I am. You came here today to find out how to overcome the fear of selling, to never be victimized by that thing anymore. Please advance the slide. I am blessed today to have a producer, and my producer happens to be my favorite person in the whole wide world, my beautiful wife, Lisa Santiago McNeill. So often doing these things here, I'm doing it by myself, but today's going to be better because I got Lisa down the hall in another room producing. Let's get to it. Now, if I had 100 people in front of me, 100 entrepreneurs in front of me, and I said, how many of you here like to sell? How many of you here like to sell? Raise your hands, and I'll get a few hands. And if I say, how many of you do not like having to sell? I'll get a lot of hands. If you're on this broadcast right here and you know you're one of those people who said you do not like selling, if you do not like selling, put a I don't or not I don't in the chat, and I'll know who I'm talking to. But why is selling so distasteful? Why is it unpleasant? The reason why the profession of selling, the reason why the act of selling is distasteful and unpleasant for a lot of entrepreneurs is selling industry has earned that negative connotation. Yes, they have. The way sales used to be made in this country historically, they used to be where they would pressure people. They can get away with that. They would try to high pressure ladies, and they would use tricks and deceptive practices when they were selling things like home improvement or cars. And everyone is seeing these things about used car salesmen, movies about them, spoofing about them. There was a book written in the 50s called Death of a Salesman by a guy named Arthur Miller. Death of a Salesman. It was a very, very popular book, and it describes this salesman named Willie Loman, who spends his whole life never really making much money, but he was a salesman. He wore white shoes and a white belt, and he dressed nicely and all that stuff, but he never made much money. And Willie Loman thought the key to life was being well-liked. He thought the key to being successful is just to be well-liked. So he went about his whole life trying to be well-liked by everybody, but he never really made much money, and he died broke and poor. But the book, Death of a Salesman, was very popular in this country. And then they made it into a play on Broadway, Death of a Salesman, that ran for many, many years. You know, Death of a Salesman. And then they made it into a movie, Death of a Salesman. And then other movies spun off of that. Yes, Death of a Salesman. Movies like Tin Men or Aluminum Siding Salesman with Danny DeVito and Richard Dreyfuss, I believe, became very, very popular in this country about how salesmen would just do anything. And then in the 70s, it became like a tactic, you know, and in the 80s, things like network marketing proliferated. 70s to 80s, network marketing companies, and people didn't know how to sell, so they would just beg their friends and their family, join my business, join my business, join my business. And everybody's like, oh, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. And then it got to the place where companies would switch up and they would force the salespeople to do anything, like in timeshares and all that stuff. You know, they would advocate anything short of physical violence to get the sale. You know, say anything you gotta do, get them to sign on the line. And they would have trainers come in. The only thing that matters in life is to get them to sign on the line that's dotted. And all that's out there going on. I mean, and so it was very pressured. But then what happened after the 90s, the 2000s hit? The 90s, it was starting to switch. But in the 2000s, the pendulum swung back. Whereas no one wanted to be thought of that way anymore. Like right around 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, going into the 2000s, the groundswell became no one wants to be known for that. For like 20-something years now, maybe close to 30 years now in this country, no one wanted to be thought of as what we used to think of salespeople. So the pendulum has swung. And now, because entrepreneurs do not want to be like that distasteful memory, they don't sell now. They don't even ask for business at all. What they focus so much on is trying to be well-liked. And so they don't risk anything. They don't risk anything. They don't risk asking for business. They don't risk, they're not going to try to overcome any objection, anything like that. So that's what happened. So it's created, it went from a world of tough men and women, salespeople, to a softer, and now we've gotten to the place where we're wimpy. The other reason why so many people don't like selling is because they've gotten bad counsel and bad training and bad understandings of what selling is. Let's fix that now. Marketing, for example, is creating awareness of, letting the marketplace know what you have and that they can get it from you. Selling is merely the part of getting money in exchange for that thing. That's it. The exchange of the service or product for money. That's what the sales part is. Now, when I say to people, how many people like selling? And most people say they don't like selling. I'm going to kill that right now because you do like selling and I can prove it. Have you ever sold anything? Has anyone ever bought anything from you? Like a service that you offered or a thing that you offered? Have you ever sold a bike or a bed or a car or anything? Have you ever sold anything and the person paid you the money that you asked for? And once you got the money in your hands, have you ever thought to yourself, I don't like the fact that they paid me for this. I don't like that I just got money in exchange for this. I don't like that. Have you ever thought that you didn't like getting money for what you offered? Of course not. You liked the selling part of it. What you didn't like was the potential for rejection. What you didn't like was the not knowing what to say first, second, or third. Many, many, many times in my life, I've done workshops publicly, and I ask members of the audience, my style is naturally very participatory. My beautiful wife could tell you. But we've seen many amazing entrepreneurs get moved to emotion when describing how difficult it is for them to sell. I've seen people break down and cry. I'm like, why are you crying here? She goes, Brian, because if I could just get them to understand how my services will help them, then they would hire me and then they would be healed. But I can't get them to understand. And she thought selling was getting them to understand what she does. And it caused her to be moved to emotion. Why are you upset? Because if I don't start getting more clients, I'm going to have to go and get a job in corporate America. And I don't want to work in corporate America anymore. I want to do my thing. So they're fearful and they're selling as if they're fearful. They got that stamp on their forehead. I need money. And if I don't get money soon, I'm going to have to swallow hard and go do something I don't like because I need the money. Stay on this screen. Stay on the screen here for a second, please. But the bad counsel, they have been told by wise sounding people. The key to selling is you have to make a lot of phone calls. You got to make 50 phone calls a day or 100 phone calls a day, because that's how car salesmen used to do it back in the day. Okay, but I'm going to tell you now, that's not true. There's another myth that's really popular now. I did a video a couple of months ago on this, the know, like, and trust issue. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. They've been taught that for a long time. And I did a video on that because that's simply not true. It's just not true. Think about this. There's a lot of people that you know that are in business that you know and you like them. You genuinely like them, but you're never going to do business with them. And there's a lot of people that like you and they're never going to do business with you. Why not? Because they don't have a good reason to do business with you. You have not effectively sold your services to them in such a way that they can digest it and understand it enough for them to want to give you money in exchange for that thing. Even though they do like you, they'll like you, respect you, save you a seat, and want to talk to you, be your friend, and even admire you, but still not do business with you because they don't have a reason to. That's why. They don't have something within you that's greater than the money in their pocket, and they're not going to do business with you. These myths are hurting entrepreneurs so much, and that's another reason why they have a fear of selling, because these myths sound distasteful. I've had many entrepreneurs tell me, I hate pitching. I said, well, let me hear what you say. Well, my company told me to pitch it like this, pitch it like this. First off, let go of that concept of pitching. Don't pitch anybody. No pitching. If I pitch a ball at your head, you're either going to get hit by it, or you're going to swing at it, or you're going to dodge it, or you're going to catch it. And none of those are things that you want people to do with what you're offering. Don't pitch anymore. The reason why a lot of entrepreneurs don't like their pitch, because it doesn't feel authentic to them. It doesn't feel good to them. It's distasteful to them. And they equate that distasteful thing that someone told them to do with the act of selling. Don't do that. Next slide, please. Now, understanding these myths and these bad things, I think the best way to conquer that is for you to start understanding why they will say yes to you, why they will say yes. Number one reason why they're going to say yes to you is because they want to. They want to do business with you. They want to invest with you. And why do they want to invest with you? Because you're going to give them these things. If you're taking notes, if you've not been taking notes, this is a place where you want to write something down. Okay? Write something down now. But this is why they will say yes to you, and you can't get away from this. Write down the word time. Write down the word time. And underneath the word time, write the word money. I'm going to go over this. And underneath the word money, write down the words good feelings. Good feelings. And underneath good feelings, write solutions to a problem. Solutions to a problem. Underneath that, write the words good health. Good health. Underneath that, write children. I'm going to go over this. Don't worry about it if you're not catching everything right first pass. I'm going to go over this. Underneath children, write the word pets, P-E-T-S. Now, these 7 things that I had you write down, these are the 7 things that people historically and enthusiastically and currently want to give their money to get. These are the things that they want to spend their money on enthusiastically. For example, the first one is time. Time. Are there any parts of your services that will save your clients some time? If there is something about your services that will save them some time, you should talk about that, because saving them time is a good reason to give you money. Are there any results that they'll be able to achieve faster as a result of working with you than they would have on their own? If there's any results that they'll achieve faster as a result of working with you, you should talk about that, because that's a good reason to give you money. Time, you saving them time and you helping them to achieve a result faster. If they're wanting to get out of debt and you happen to offer a financial plan to help people to get out of debt, with your plan, is it not true that they would get out of debt faster than they would on their own? If it is true, you should talk about it. Time. And that has nothing to do with how much they like you. If you're going to save them some time, it just has something to do with time. Now, when it comes to money, this happens in a few ways. People enthusiastically want to give their money. They will invest their money into the person or the thing. The person or the thing that will save them, either save them some money or earn them more money, or both. Does your services help your clients to save some money in any way? Does your services help a potential client to earn some money in any way? Put on your creativity cap. How can your services help them to either save some money? How can your services help them to earn some more money? And if you can find a way that's genuine to how your service will save them some money or help earn them some money, you should talk about that, because that's a good reason to give you money. Time and money. If you help your client in any of those 2 ways, you should talk about your services through those filters. Very often when I get an audience or a group or even an individual, I put them on a clock. I set a timer for 3 minutes. And I say, when I say go, I want you to write down 10 great reasons why someone should work with you and your services. 10 great reasons why someone should hire you and your services. And then I say go. And I keep talking to them the whole time. And I'm talking to them like, okay, how long you been doing this business? And they're writing. And I tell them it's very important to finish this list within time. So they do. They invariably write down 10, what they believe are 10 great reasons to work with them. And I have them read their list out loud or give it to me or whatever. And their list will say things like, I asked the question, give me 10 great reasons why someone should work with you. And they'll have written down things like, because I'm hardworking, because I have 2 degrees, because I'm certified, because I'm experienced, because I love people, because I'm passionate, because I really, really care about them and I want to see them successful, because I've been through this myself, because I know how to help people, because I really, because I'm honest, because I'm hardworking. All those things that I just mentioned, all of those things, they're all good things to have. And none of those are reasons to do business with you. Those are reasons to make people like you or respect you or maybe even admire you. Unless you can articulate how you having these 2 degrees or been doing this for 12 years is a tangible benefit for them, is not a good reason to do business with you. I've been doing this for 25 years. Great. That's good for you. But that's not a reason for me to do business with you. I've been doing this for 25 years. And because I've been doing this so long, I can recognize potential and expensive mistakes that my clients are about to make. And I can keep them from making those potential expensive mistakes. Or I can help them to achieve these results faster. Or I could keep them from wasting money by trying things that just don't work anymore. Now, adding the benefit of keeping them from making financial mistakes, adding the benefit of speeding up the process, then it is a reason to do business with you. Time, money. The third one is good feelings. I hope someone caught what I just put out there. Did anyone has anyone, since we've been talking for 20 minutes now, has anyone already found value in anything I've said? If you've already found value, put me in the chats. If you've already found value, I'll put the word love. Thank you, Kimberly. I'll put the word value. If you've already found value, and I still got more stuff I want to give today. Give. Put that in the chat. You found value. Time, money, good feelings. Good feelings is the third reason why they will do business with you. People want to give their money to the person or the thing that helps them to feel better about themselves. Like now, can it help me feel better about me now? Or can it help me to imagine other people having a higher opinion of them? For example, the 60-year-old man that buys the red convertible sports car. He did not buy it because it has good brakes. He bought it because he believes that driving this car is going to make him look cool. And he also believes that when you see him, you're going to agree with him and you're going to think he looks cool too. A man buying a financial plan for his family bought it because he believes that as the head of the household, that's a responsible thing for him to do. And he can also imagine that his wife and kids are going to see what dad did, and he's going to appreciate what he did for them. Good feelings. Can you help them to feel better about themselves right now? Or can you help them to imagine other people having a higher opinion of them, or both? Time, money, good feelings. The fourth one is solutions to a problem. Out of the 7. The fourth out of the 7 is solutions to a problem. Now, here I'm asking you, you need to be able to answer this question. What is the big and obvious problem that is solved by you and your services? I did not ask you what are all the problems, or what are the ancillary, or what are the ethereal problems that solved. I want to know the biggest and most obvious problem that is solved by you and your services. For me, entrepreneurs offer great services, but don't know how to sell it well. And I teach them how to sell themselves and their services. The big and obvious problem that I solve is entrepreneurs are good at what they do and horrible at selling, or don't know how to sell. And because they don't know how to sell, it keeps them from earning the money that they could earn or should earn. I teach them how to sell what they do so they can earn more money. Let's speak on that for a second. I believe in outsourcing. And I believe if you could find someone who likes selling to sell for you, that's willing to sell for you and just earn a commission on it, you should go ahead and do that too. But even if you're able to build a sales force, even if you're able to outsource your selling, the selling of your services and your business is the one thing I believe that cannot be completely outsourced. You cannot also be a salesperson on your company. You've got to also consider yourself in sales. You can't completely outsource selling. You got to always consider yourself a part of your own sales force. Thank you, Sister Jackie. I always love when you come in the room. Amen. Time, money, good feelings, solutions to a problem. Number 5 is good health. Good health. Is there any way that you and your services improve your client's health? Is there any way you improve their health? Now, some of you guys are going to be really obvious how you improve their health. But for some of you guys, the way you improve your client's health is by helping them to worry less or helping them to stress less. If you offer a service that's going to help your clients to worry less or stress less or improve their health in any kind of way, you should talk about that through your services, because that's a good reason to hire you. That's a good reason to give you money. Some of you guys are watching this right now. You've had all 5 of the good reasons to give you money. You got all of them, but you never talk about them because you don't know how to talk about them yet. And I will show you how. Yes, time, money, good feelings, solutions to a problem, good health. The last 2 are children and pets. If there's any way you benefit a client when it comes to their children, if there's any way you benefit a client when it comes to their pets, you should talk about that too. All of these benefits that you have for people, for your clients, but you don't talk about how it helps them this way. You talk about how the cool stuff that's so comfortable. I ask clients all the time, or potential clients all the time, what do you call the people that hire you? Well, I call them my family, or I call them my new friends, because they're not clients or customers to me. They become part of my family when they do business with me. With that as a focus, trying to make a new family member instead of trying to benefit them in some way, it's going to throw the whole game off, and you're not going to be able to offer services that benefit them. You're going to be focused too much on being their family members or their friends. That's not where the focus needs to rest. The focus needs to be on how are you and your services improving their lives? How are they better off as a result of doing business with you? I got lots of friends. Okay, but I don't pay anybody to be my friend like that. Oh, are these in any no? Any order hierarchically? No. But I will say, I have favorites. They're not any hierarchy. It's killing me today. There's not any particular order, but my personal favorites that I want entrepreneurs to lean on is if your services can save them some time, or the results that you can help them to achieve faster. That's a great question. If you can help them achieve any results faster, you should talk about that. Time, money, if you help them when it comes to money, either earning more or saving more, talk about that too. And if you can help them to stress less or worry less, in any kind of way. Those are my favorites personally, but they're not in any hierarchical order. Oh my gosh. Let me say this too about the list of the 7. You don't need all 7. You only need one. You only need one. However, as many as you can get, as many as you can address, the better. So if you have 5 out of the 7 or 6 out of the 7, great. If you have 3 out of the 7, that's fantastic too. You only have to have one. But as many as you have, the better. Amen? Amen means you heard, understand, and agree. Do I have any amens? How you doing, Dr. Tawana? Always good to see your face. Yes. We're talking about how to overcome the fear of selling. We've discussed why the fear came about and how it became distasteful, but how the pendulum has swung. I'm building a point here. You're going to say, please advance the screen. Now, listen to the question. Do you sell to people or for people? Do you sell to people or for people? And then the follow-up questions, are you sure? Because this is a point that you got to get sure on. Are you offering your services to people or for the people? See, when you're offering your services to people, it's transactional. You're offering it to them. You're doing it to them so they can get it and you can get the money for it. When you're offering it for the people, you're offering it because you know that they're going to be better off. and maybe substantially better off? Are they better off? Are the people that hire you, are the people that pay for your stuff, are they significantly better off than they would have been if they had just kept the money? If you have something that you offer for $1,000, and they have $1,000, would they be better off if they gave you the $1,000 and took your solution, or would they be better off keeping the money to themselves? If you're sure that they're better off giving it to you, if you're certain that they are significantly better off giving you the money in exchange for your services, then you're doing it, then you owe it to them to motivate them to take your solutions. If they are significantly better off, you have to let them know how they're significantly better off. You owe it to them. You owe it to them. If you know they're significantly better off and you keep that to yourself, you keep that secret to yourself, you are out of integrity. If your stuff was as good as you think it is, if your stuff helps people as much as you think it does, then your personal integrity should be the spur to help motivate you to help them to take your solution. To take your solution. Selling today is an act of motivation, helping them to take an action in exchange for what you have. You're motivating them to do a thing that's going to benefit them greatly. Does that make sense? Your job is to motivate them if you are certain that you're doing it for their benefit. For example, if someone hired me to coach them on how to sell themselves and their services. Now that's an intangible services. That's an intangible service. So if I can't get anything back if they decide they don't want it anymore, they already got it. They got it in their heads. I'm going to make some money when someone hires me. I'm going to make some money, but I'm going to spend the money. Okay. I'm going to spend it pretty much right away or do something with it pretty much right away. But what do they get? If they hire me, they learn how to sell themselves and their services now, and they're going to use what they learned from me now and next month and the next month after that and next year and 5 years and 10 years from now. They're going to use what I teach them for the rest of their lives, and they're going to benefit from what I teach them for the rest of their lives. And so who gained more, me or them? They gained a whole lot more than I did. All I got was money, and I spent that. But they got a skill, they got a practice, they got a tactic, they got a technique that they're going to use again and again. So they earn more. I had a wonderful experience one time where a gentleman said, Brian, I took your training 12 years ago. He took my training 12 years ago, and he says, I was the top man in my company then, and I've been the top man ever since. But I took your training, and you told me two things. You told me to start using the emotional words in that training, Brian. You told me to start using the word love. You told me to start using the word home. And that's what I use. That's all I got pretty much. I started using the words love and home the way you told us to do it over and over again. And I've stayed the top dog in my company for that time. Now, that was 10 years ago. 12 years ago, he took my training. But that little thing, he's been benefiting then from it since then, and he's going to continue benefiting from it. If what you offer is going to offer your clients continued benefits and way above what the money you're asking for, then you're selling for them and you owe it to them. I hope you are feeling this point. You owe it to them to motivate them. It's going to never be a fair exchange. It's not a fair exchange. They always have to be getting a whole lot more than the money you're asking. For example, if the value that I'm offering to them is $20,000 and I ask for $20,000, that's out of order. That won't work. For me to get $20,000, I got to give $40,000 or $60,000 or $80,000 worth of value. Does that make sense to somebody? You're giving more value than the money you're asking for. And that's the game that we sign up for. I agree with Love and Home. I never say house to my clients after training with you. Amen. And Brenda's an amazing real estate agent. That's right. She never say a house is where somebody else lives, okay, or another thing. A home is where your clients are going to be, or home is where you live, okay? A house is for others, and a home is for us. Amen. Thank you, Brenda, for putting that in there. And I'm honored to have trained with you as well. Your integrity is at stake. One of my heroes in business was a guy named Zig Ziglar. And Zig Ziglar told this story. He sold pots and pans and knives for the Cutco Corporation in the 50s and 60s. And he would do cooking demonstrations at someone's home, and then he would just go around doing cooking demonstrations and selling pots and pans. That's what he did for a living at the time. He set national records doing it. And he had a string of good luck. He had a string of some sales. He was making, everybody was saying yes to him. He was making great money. He was feeling really happy. Hired an assistant and everything. And he went to one couple's home, and they had 7 little kids and a small house and a small kitchen. 7 little kids, small house, small kitchen out in the country. And the guy said to him up front, I don't care what you say, I'm going to fix up this bathroom before I buy anything else. No matter what you say. Ziegler heard him. He did his normal presentation. He thought in his mind his cookware would help a family with 7 little kids, because my cookware saves them time and money and all that kind of stuff. You don't need this and that. You cook it with water. So he thought how I could help them, but he just did his normal humdrum presentation. And at the end, the guy says, well, I told you what I'm going to do. He goes, yep, I understand. Ziegler shook his hand and left. And as he was going on, a week later, he bumps into that guy's sister. And she goes, man, what'd you do to my brother? What do you mean what I do to your brother? He is mad at you. What do you mean he's mad at me? He says, He says, he don't like you no more. He don't trust you no more. Why not? He said, because he wanted to buy the cookware from you, and you wouldn't even sell it to him. What do you mean I wouldn't sell it to him? Yeah, he's pissed at you. You wouldn't even sell it to him. He said you was just trying to get out of there to go get a sale that was easier. You didn't even try with them. He said, well, I'll go back right now. I left him laughing. I thought we was buddies. No, I don't trust you. Okay. If it was as good as you said it was, you would have at least tried to help them to take your solution. If you're not willing to try to help them to take your solution, then it questions if it was really as good as you said in the first place. Ziegler thought, he learned from that if my stuff is as good as I say it is, my integrity is at stake. My personal integrity, your integrity is at stake too. If you know to help and you're willing to offer your services for them, you need to make sure they understand how they're benefited and keep them on your mind. Okay. I'm going to say this too. The entrepreneurs who really don't like to ask for money or close a sale, the number one reason why they won't do that is because they are so in their own head thinking about, if I ask him to hire me or her to hire me, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to think less of me if I ask for money? You're being selfish and you're thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about how they're going to be better off. That's a much better thought process. How they're going to be better off. I'm doing it for them, not to them. Amen? I hope y'all got what I threw out there. Please advance the screen. You must offer your services. Here's another challenge, and this is the biggest challenge I face today. And my sales trainer friends say the same thing. Entrepreneurs today, salespeople today, never, ever even ask for business. They don't. They'll just tell what I do. Well, I'm a life coach. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm an insurance agent. I'm a real estate agent. I do this, this, and this, and this. I help people to buy and sell. I help people to do, they do great presentations on what they do. They explain what they do really, really well, but they never ask anybody formally for business. They won't do it. I'm going to teach you how. In my live presentations, I very often will ask for, does anyone have a dollar bill? Hold it up. Okay, or a $5 bill, hold it up. And I'll ask for one of the ladies to bring it up here. So a lady will bring up a $5 bill to me. Okay. And I say, I want you to stand real, real close to me so that your side is touching my side. And she does that. I said, now put your arm around me. She'll put her arm around me. I said, now hand me the money. She'll hand me the money. And I say to my audience, okay, now what has happened here? What's going on? And they'll throw out guesses and all. She gave you money. Yes, right. What happened was I got a pretty woman to come up on stage or come up to the platform here, give me a hug and give me money. How did I do this? I simply asked her to do it. I simply said, would you? Or come and do this. Hand me this. She did everything I asked her to do. Entrepreneurs today, and then I have her take her seat, and then I attempt to keep the cash. But here's the thing. Entrepreneurs today play this game hoping. They hope that by having good branding or they hope by having a good website, or they hope by having a good funnel, or they hope by having great social media presence. At some point, someone's going to say, your branding, your social media is so good, can I hire you? They're hoping that the clients will ask for themselves. That's what's happening. Smart clients I've had, they're still doing this. I'm going to put all my prices on my website. That way I don't have to say anything to them. And they can just look at my website and read the rates, and they can decide which one of my programs they want to do. And they can just pay for it on the website. And then once I see they paid, then I contact them. Business is just not done that way. They get no sales like that at all. Okay, if you're doing that, stop it. At some point, you're going to have to formally ask for business. Here's how I suggest you ask for business. Once you're sure they understand the benefits of your services, you have to ask formally. Once you believe they understand how your services will benefit them, and you get to decide when that is, say these words. Will you give my services a try? Or will you give me and my services a try? Will you give us a try? Brother Jeff, thanks for coming on here. We don't ask because we are being told that people don't like to be sold. They like to buy. What the H does that mean? See, this is another from one of the first slides I had on the screen. Bad counsel. That's bad counsel. People don't like to be sold. People love to be sold to. I love to be sold to, and so do you. Have you ever bought anything in your life merely because the person that offered it was so enthusiastic? Of course you have. Have you ever bought Girl Scout cookies when you didn't want Girl Scout cookies? Of course you have. Because the cute little girl showed up and you saw she was earnestly trying to do her best. Have you ever bought anything from someone that you initially didn't want? Because you were sold it. Okay. Has any woman here ever got a man to do anything that he initially didn't want to do? Okay. How did it happen? You sold him on how to do it. He knew what was going on, but you sold him on it and he was happy to do it. Okay. People don't like to be sold, but they do like to buy. Now, people do like to buy, but they also do like to be sold. Yes, they do. And it's lazy for you to not be willing to offer your services. You have got to say the words, will you hire me? Will you give me a try? I gave the example of getting a pretty woman to come up and bring me money simply because I asked her to. Okay. Now, if I had did this, okay, how about this? If you're at dinner with someone and the food comes out and the salt and pepper are across the table next to the person that you're having dinner with, and you want salt and pepper for your food, how would you get it? Would you either ask them to pass it to you, or would you get up from your chair and walk around the table and get it yourself? Or would you try to reach around and get it yourself? Or you could do this. You could either one of those three things, or you could do this. You could say to that person, I like my food to be enhanced with salt and pepper. And very often I put salt and pepper on my food. A lot of times I like salt and pepper, especially with my dinner. And keep hinting around about it and hope that the person on the other side of the table can pick up on your hint and say, would you like me to hand you this salt and pepper? You have to hope. Or if they're hungry, or if they just bother when they're full, they don't pick up on the hint, they just keep on eating. Okay, it's a really, really wimpy and a lose-lose way to not ask for business. You have got to learn to specifically ask for business. Okay, ask them to give us a try is such a non-threatening way to ask for business. Would you give us a try? Thank you, Kimberly Carwell. She goes, great. I'm multitasking, watching this house cleaning, but I'm listening and learning. You the woman. She's listening and learning. Today was I had a conversation. I hear these conversations all the time, and I get on a lot of podcasts. But today it was birthed out of a podcast that I was on just this past Wednesday. And the person that interviewed me, I really respect that person, and I respect him as a great business person. And the way he introduced me to his audience was like this. He goes, next we have Brian K. McNeill, the sales confidence coach. And let me tell you, for me, I'd rather do anything but sell. I'd rather write a whole new program. I'll follow up on this, that, and the other. I'll train this. I don't want to sell at all. And I'll do anything but trying to sell. And here he is, Brian K. McNeill. Whoa. That's my intro. Now, he was being sincere. He meant he would rather write up a whole new program rather than actually have to sell. A couple of things happened there with him. He had the wrong connotation of what selling is, and he didn't know how to do it, so he found it distasteful. Selling is not stopping everything and going out to make a sale. That's not how the game is played today. That might have been the game at one time, but that's not how it goes today. So after that great introduction and his heartfelt belief that he really don't like to sell, I thought, and I understood what it was, and I heard a few other conversations. I decided real quickly, like on Thursday, I'm going to do this Saturday morning. Told my wife, let's do Saturday morning. We're going to do a workshop, overcoming the fear of selling. And my attempt today is to teach you what it is, what you're offering, and how to overcome that fear forever. That's what we're going to do today. That's my intention today. How to overcome that fear of selling forever. Ask them simply to give your stuff a try. It doesn't matter if they say yes or no, but it does matter that you at least ask. Please advance the screen. Now, stay with me. Don't run away right now. There's a difference between objections, which are excuses for not hiring you, and conditions, which are valid reasons why they cannot. Okay, a condition could be it's a husband-wife team and only one of them are present, and you can't produce the other person there, so that's a valid condition. Rarely is money a real reason. Rarely. You're talking about a pearl and a clam rare. Is money going to be the real reason? Rarely. And matter of fact, I'm going to suggest to you, just don't believe people when they say money is the excuse. Because people find money for whatever they want, especially adults. You can't call anybody a liar, and I don't want you to. But I don't want you to accept money as a real objection. Objections are excuses for not hiring you, and you must overcome them. And here's how you do it. Well, first off, would anyone like to know how to overcome an objection? Is anyone willing to go through the exercise of overcoming an objection? You have to say in the chat, I want to know, or something. And I'm gonna wait for it too. Because if you don't want to know how to overcome an objection, then we don't have to bother with that. We can just keep moving, that kind of thing. I'm saying to you, you must overcome objections. Objections are excuses. From industry to industry to industry, you only get a few objections. That's it. You get time. I don't have time to do it. You get money. It costs too much. Can't afford it. And you might get something else. I don't know how, or it's not convenient for me. You don't have my color, whatever. But you only get a few objections from industry to industry to industry, and you know what your objections are. So since you know there's only a few objections you're going to get, and even though there's only a few objections, there's typically one major one for you. That major objection for you. Now, and you know what your major objection is. I call it your demon, your biggest objection you get all the time. Whatever your demon is, if you know what it is, then you should figure out how to handle it before it comes up. So I'm going to just teach you a couple of things. I'm not going to tell everything because I'm going to offer something at the end of this. But objections, you can overcome them all. All of the objections. Here's how you do it. First off, I like to ask this question. I offer my services to them. If they don't immediately say yes, I give them a chance to correct that obvious mistake. And then if they don't do it, yes, I say, if you don't do this, what will you do? It's obvious that you need my services, but if you don't let me help you, what will you do? Because the option becomes to keep on doing what they've been doing and getting the results that they don't like. So what will you do if you don't do this? I love that question myself. Now, it's a high pressure question to ask, but it's not me putting the pressure on them. They're pressuring themselves. What am I going to do if I don't do this? You get a few chances to overcome objection. I'm just going to explain one of them today. I'm just going to explain one way to handle this. The best time to overcome an objection, and in my training, I teach the 4 chances you get to overcome an objection, and I teach a 5-step process to overcoming any objection. It's going to help you relax. I'm not going to take that much time today, but I'm going to talk about one up on though. The best time to overcome an objection is before it comes up. Before it comes up. That way you are dealing with that typical objection from a position of strength instead of having to defend. The objection is you want to handle it before the client brings it up. For example, if your typical objection is money, you will say things like, this is what I do if my objection is money, and you can do it as well. If your typical objection is money, you can say things like, I'm glad you let me showcase to you all the ways that would be helpful to you and all that. And once you believe they understand, now sometimes I show this to folks and they see the benefits of my services and they want to do it. And sometimes, even though they see the benefits, they still don't do it. And some of the reasons why they don't do it is because of money. They let money keep them from having the solution to the problem that's been bothering them for a long time. They let money keep them from earning money. They let money get in the way, okay? Say, you mentioned that you bring up money first. Sometimes people see how my stuff benefits them and they don't do it because of the money, okay? Well, if that's the case, in this example, I see what you said, Ms. Linda. If that's the case, money won't be a problem with us here today because I'm going to be able to make it affordable to you and anyone else. I offer terms as well to make it easily digestible and affordable. So we're not going to have to worry about the money. Fair enough? Fair enough. Good. Like medicine is easy as taken in small doses. The doctor gives you a medicine bottle. You don't take the whole bottle at once. You take it a few pills at a time. That's how you do it. And we can make it work for you money-wise. We could do a little bit less project. We could do a smaller term. We could do all kinds of things. Money is the thing that you can do the most things with. That's why it should be your favorite objection. Money is your favorite objection because you can offer a smaller package. You can extend the terms. You can do all kinds of things with money. But you can't do all kinds of things with all the objections. But money you could be very, very flexible with. So hopefully, understanding the best time to overcome an objection is before it comes up. You determine what your typical objection is and have you bring it up first. Here's the other cool thing about when you bring up the objection first. They very often will help you to destroy it. Sometimes I offer my solutions and a person really needs my help and they don't do it because of money. And they get to leave me and still have the same problem. Very often your clients say, I don't know exactly what you mean. They're looking for help. And then when they find the help, they don't take help. What kind of person would do that? They'll help me kill that objection. That happens often. And now because they help me to kill it, they're not going to bring it up. They're not going to revive it. They help me to destroy it. Time, money, good feeling, solutions to a problem. All those things matter. And overcoming objection before, again, there's lots of things. Like at one time, I thought, this is in the 90s, I thought incorrectly, the key to being a great salesperson was being a great closer, a great sales closer. So that was in my head at the time because my company had a one call, one kill philosophy. You get one shot at a client. So you better do everything you can because you can't go back to them no matter what they say. Even if they ask, can you come back tomorrow? You can't. Okay, that was the company's policy. So you only have one shot, one call, one kill. So I studied closing a lot, how to overcome objections, studied closing. I read the great books on sales closing, The Art of Closing Any Deal by James Pickens. I read all kinds of great books on how to close. I learned the 15 most common customer objections and 45 closing responses to them. And I knew more than 100 ways to close a sale off the top of my head. I knew about the Ben Franklin close, the paperfold close, the contest close, the airplane close, the this or that close, the ooh and ah close. I learned all of these closes. But you can't sell like that in 2022. That don't work at all. You can't use that. You can't use a Ben Franklin close. Nobody will tolerate any of that stuff today. So all that stuff that I thought was the key then is definitely not the key today. You cannot close like that today. No one will tolerate it. No one. So you don't need 100 ways to close a sale. But I think you need 2 or 3 ways to close a sale. And I teach people how those 2 or 3 ways I want them to learn how to close a sale. Please advance the screen. So has anyone found value so far? Nobody here paid any money to come to this today, but I suspect that you've already learned something that you believe will help you to earn more money. Did you? Did you have learned anything so far that you believe will be helpful to you in your business? If you've learned some more so far, if you've learned something that's going to help you so far, say I've learned, or yes, I've learned. Let me know in the chat, please. Have you found anything value? Yes, Miss Glenda, you found value. My mission today was to give you something, even if you never saw me again, that's going to help you for the rest of your life. Learning why they will say yes, I believe will help you for the rest of your life. Learning how it doesn't matter so much about how you're feeling. Learning that the selling part is an exchange of your values and benefits for their money. That's what it is. You're exchanging those. Learning that selling is an act of motivation. You're motivating them to take your solutions because they're going to be better off. Because they're going to be better off. Amen? Next screen, please. Now, you guys have been patient with me today. What time is it? Oh, good. We're in here less than an hour. I came here. I wanted to give enough value to earn the right to introduce to you a course that I have coming up. It's called the Sales Confidence Course. It was worth money, but you gave it away for free. Bless you. Jeff, it was worth money, but you gave it away for free. Jeff, I'm okay with that, because I'm of the philosophy that the way we do business today, you're going to have to give away some stuff for free. And some of the stuff that you give away for free has to really be helpful. It has to be good. You have to give away some good stuff for free. I know $1 million speakers. If you go to their website, they're giving away amazing stuff for free. And they're giving away their books for free. They're giving away workshops for free and videos for free, because that's the price we pay today. That's it. But I have a course coming up, and it's a group course. It's called the Sales, not yet, don't change the screen yet. The Sales Confidence Course. I'm offering it to you. One of the things about in a group training is the people in the group get to know each other, and the people in the group get to push each other up. And with the group training, well, every group is going to be different, but the group picks up its own dynamic. And depending upon what that group's dynamic is, it becomes a magical thing. Like some groups want to go things slower. They want to exegete everything slower. And some groups want to get a lot more content, just keep dumping, even if they're not retaining it all. But every group has their own dynamic, and I love to help them because I know that I can. I've been leading groups of sales. I mean, my whole life has been training salespeople. There were some years where my full-time job as a corporate sales trainer was giving classes on sales from 9 to 5. And I did that Monday through Friday, every other week. And the weeks where I wasn't giving classes, I was interviewing and hiring and firing. Hiring, firing, training, and motivating was my life for years. So on the weeks where I wasn't giving class, I was doing about 35 interviews that week. By every week, I was interviewing about 35 men or women who wanted a job in sales. And I had to figure out who to fire every other week. That was my life back then. I don't do that anymore. Now I help you guys. But I have a curriculum coming up. It's called the Sales Confidence Course. Now, I know the people that take the Sales Confidence Course are going to earn significantly more money. I know that the money that I'm going to ask for is pathetically low. The money that I'm asking for, if you follow the tenets of value-based selling, you should price based upon their values instead of any dollar amount. So if they're going to get $200,000 worth of value, I should get a percentage of that. If they're going to get $2 million worth of value, I should be paid incommensurate to the value that they're going to receive. That makes sense to me, and I do believe in that too. But I know with this curriculum that I'm about to offer, you're going to get way more value than what I'm about to ask for. Hey, Tanisha, how you doing? She said this was really great. Yes, you have given me some good golden nuggets. Thank you. I want to give good and golden nuggets. And even if you only acted upon a single thing that you got today, maybe your one thing was, from now on, I'm never going to end my presentation without at least giving them a chance to say yes or a chance to say no. Ask them based on what you want. Will you give my services a try? Just that sentence is going to help you to close more. And I know that to be true. So I know the value of what you've gotten so far is tremendous, but what you're about to get in the sales confidence course curriculum is amazing. Please advance the screen. I'm offering you a six-week curriculum that ensures that you get new clients now. You're going to gain clients during the class, and I'm going to help you to do this. This curriculum is going to start on July the 11th, the Monday after 4th of July. It's going to start on July 11th. Don't advance yet. And it's going to go for 6 successive Mondays. So Mondays at 8 p.m. So on Mondays at 8 p.m., you got a choice to it. You're either going to watch TV, whatever the show is, or you're going to take the curriculum, take the class. This curriculum, I offer normally group price for this curriculum is normally $1,497, right at $1,500. You guys got up on a Saturday morning and you took part in 55 minutes of training, an hour of training on a Saturday morning. I'm going to discount it for you. You've earned it. You showed up on short notice. I only just put this out a couple of days ago. So I'm discounting my normal curriculum of $1,497 down to $997 for you. You can take part in this full curriculum, this 6 weeks that I know will earn you 10 or 20 times your investment. Now, it's $997. Now, there are 2 ways to get involved. Please advance the screen. You can pay in full. Now, and if you pay in full, I will incent you. Paying in full is easier for everybody. So if you pay in full, you get an additional $100 off. So you can get it for $897. Or you could do it in 2 installments, a $500 initial investment, and in 30 days, pay another $500. I don't mind either way. The people that choose to do it on terms and installments, the cool thing about that is you pay your $500, and then part of my work is to help to ensure that you have enough new revenue to keep affording me. If you pay it in full, you get to take advantage of fully of all the money savings. Pay in full, you save $600. That's a beautiful thing to me. If you can save $1, that's cool. But if you can save $600, that's even better. This class is strictly limited to 10 people. Only a maximum of 10 people in each class. This same workshop I did for you today, I'm doing it again on Wednesday, this Wednesday the 6th. So, but only 10 people are going to be in this class because that's my maximum effective range that I could touch everybody well enough to ensure they got their full value. Maximum of 10 people. $897 or initial investment of $500. Please go to the next screen. And here's how you do it. Write down this link. You're not going to be able to click on it. bit.ly/sales confidence course. It's very, very easy for you to do. Get into the class. You think you got something today. Let me tell you something. You ain't getting nothing today compared to what you're going to get. Thank you, baby. In this class, I'm going to teach you nuts and bolts of what to do with your time. In the sales confidence course, I will teach you selling ideology. In this class, I'll also teach the high level stuff, the fun and sexy part of selling, the stuff that most people don't ever get to learn. I'll teach those things in the sales confidence course. The sales confidence course, you're going to feel bulletproof. You're going to feel bulletproof. You're going to learn to swat away objections like they're nuisances, because they're not going to really matter. I never meet anybody that I think can sell better than me. Okay, it never happens. But I earned that right, and I earned that feeling because I consistently study my craft, and I get a chance to practice what I study every day, and I don't think anyone's going to outwork me. So your choice is you could take advantage of Brian's solutions and shortcut the time it takes for you to get profitable. With my help, you will move years ahead. You will advance years ahead in your productivity. I'll save you years in getting productive with my help. With my help, I know you're going to earn significantly more money. So you can do the same things I did. You can study as much as I did, have the years I did, or you can take advantage of what I've learned to disseminate in a way that you can receive. I've learned how to teach it. And some people think I'm really, really good at it. I got testimonials that say I'm really, really good at teaching how to sell. So, and you might be one too. You might be one that becomes part of my report card. My report card. My report card are a direct proportion to how much money you're earning. Hopefully you got now. Lisa, go ahead and bring me up full screen, please. Oh, look at that. I want to say thank you. I need the chats too. I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. Can I see the chat, baby? So thank you for showing up today. I'm wanting you guys to take advantage of this curriculum. Join us. Come on to this curriculum with me. Take this journey with me. And I know that you're going to be super excited that you did. Yes, the money. Where is it? I can't pull it up myself. Before I go, I'm willing to answer a question. If anybody has a question while I'm here, baby, bring me back. So I need to see the chats and all that stuff too. So take me off of full screen, please. So anyway, when I get back to the chat, I'll be able to see if anyone has. I'm done with what I came to do today. What? Oh, hide chat. I don't want to hide chat. Okay, show chat. Exit full screen. Exit full screen. Okay, here we go. I see the chats now. Thank you, baby. All right. Jill says I have time, money, solutions to a problem, which is the obvious problem that you're solving. Good health, time, money, solution to a problem. Good health. Time, money, solution to a problem. Good health. What was the other ones you're missing? Time, money, good health. Oh, you're missing children and pets. Children and pets. And you're also missing good feelings, Jill. Good feelings. Fear of making calls. You don't have fear of making calls. You have a fear of how they're going to feel about you if you make a call. And don't count calls, Jeff. Don't track how many calls you make because it doesn't matter. Track only how many people you actually talk to. Here's some numbers for you guys. Calls are fine, but calls don't matter at all. What matters is how many people you actually talk to. So if you make phone calls all day and only talk to 2 people, the only ones that matter are the 2 people you talk to. Don't carry the negative stat. I made 50 phone calls today. You did not. You only talk to 2 people. And here's what you want to track. You want to track how many meaningful conversations you have. Meaningful conversation. A meaningful conversation is a talk between you and a potential client. And it doesn't matter how long that talk is. It could be 1 minute or an hour. It doesn't matter. But it's a conversation you're having with someone where they know what you offer and they know there's a potential for doing business. An excuse to have a meaningful conversation. You want to get to the place where you're having at least 1 meaningful conversation a day. One meaningful conversation a day. 1 conversation a day with someone who could potentially become your client. That's it. They could potentially have a reason to actually talk to them. The single most profitable use of your time is talking to somebody directly. Talking to someone directly by a Zoom, by a phone, in person. That's the single greatest use of your time, a conversation. Now, once you get up to having 1 meaningful conversation a day, then you want to move to 2 meaningful conversations a day. If you can ever get to the magical number of 4, 4 meaningful conversation is the can't fail number. If you're having 4 meaningful conversations a day in your business, you cannot fail in selling yourself and your services, even if you're horrible at doing it. 4 meaningful conversations a day makes you impossible. Even if you said to every single one of them, no matter what I say today, don't hire me, and then did your presentation, somebody will twist your arm and force you to do business with them. You can't fail with 4, but 4 requires skill. You got to get up to 4 a day. But start with 1. 1 meaningful conversation today is a matter of willpower, not skill power. You could do that without any skills, just the determination that you're going to do it. Lead magnets are essential. You have to have a reason for someone to look at your stuff. Today, giving a free public workshop can be considered part of my lead magnet. A lead magnet is a way to get new people that you could showcase your stuff to or market to. It could be an ebook you have. I think the best lead magnets are webinars or webinars or seminars or workshops like this. I think these are the best lead magnets. Let me say this to you as well, Kimberly. Any single thing you do as far as outreach, whether you do a 3-minute video and post it on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter where you're teaching something. You do a 3-minute video where you give a tip or something and you post it in those places. No matter what the social media says, 3 people saw this video. It's more than that. I can promise you it's more than 3 people that saw it. I see 6 people in the room right now. I promise you it's way more than 6. And here's how I know. The average American knows about 600 people on a first name basis. That's the average American. And when you take care of one, when you feed one, your message goes out. Just like dropping a rock in a still pond that's going to send out ripples. And you don't know how far the ripples go, but you know they're going to go somewhere. Nice beat. Someone likes my bracelets and stuff. I like them too. My son makes them mostly. And I have a friend in town that did this necklace for me. I like them too. They're new to me. For only like 2 years, maybe I've been into this, but I like them too. No, podcasts and speaking engagements are part of what you have to do to become relevant and stay relevant. And they are part of your lead magnets closer. A meaningful conversation has to be something direct. Okay, a direct conversation with a potential client. But those are great questions. I do want you guys to join me. The class begins on the 11th. I'm doing the same workshop that I did today. I'm doing it on Wednesday. And they want to also know I'm limiting it to 10. So if you already know that you want to take part in this sales confidence course, go ahead and become a part of it now. Lisa, put back up the link again, please. That screen where it says with the bit.ly link, just put it up for a moment so they can get that. And yes, and I'm willing to hang out for just a couple more questions. That's all. There it is. Thank you, baby. That's the link, bit.ly sales confidence course. Go there, register, and get a part of this. I want to work with you, Glenda, Tanisha, Kimberly. I want to work with you, Jeff. I want to work with you. And I feel really, really confident. I want to work with you, Jill. I want to work with you, Kimberly. I feel really, really confident that if you will let me help you, you're going to be way better off. I want to work with you, Kimberly, Brenda, all of you guys. Jackie, definitely, I want to work with you. Let's go to work. Mr. William Brown, I want to work with you too. Okay. You, sir, are a good man. Thank you, sir. I want to be a good man, but also I believe the work I do it because I'm supposed to do it. I believe this work that I do, I'm supposed to do it. I think that God has uniquely qualified me to teach people how to sell. And if I don't do it, I'm not giving my Heavenly Father honor. So that's why I do it. Now, if there's not another question, thank you, Jackie, as well. This is your Saturday as well as mine. So if you also, Lisa, I also offer a one-on-one selling your services consultation for free. It'll be done via Zoom or phone call. And that's a Calendly link. Or actually Lisa made it a bit.ly link. So if you want a one-on-one conversation with me, it'll last, 15, 20, 30 minutes, something like that. Go to bit.ly/BK McNeill. Go there and schedule your time with me. That's what you'll do. Hello, LinkedIn user. How you doing? Blessings to you as well. I really am thankful that you guys showed up here today. If just one of you had not been here today, if just one of you had not been here on this live feed, we would not have had this many people. And I'm glad we had this many people. Maybe save the chat for me too, please. Save the chat because I want to reach out to some folks too. And any more questions of me? I budgeted an hour and a half for this time, but I'm done in 45 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes. So good. I'm done. Unless anybody else has anything for me. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you as well.